All right, let's dive straight into this rapid-fire explainer to get you fully prepped and ready for the CISI SCMR CF exam.
We're doing a high-energy blitz today. We are covering exactly what you need to lock into your brain before walking into that exam room. No fluff, just the facts. Let's get moving.
First step, offerings and core documents. We need to hammer home the exact differences in how securities are actually brought to the market.
You got to instantly contrast these two in your head. A public offer? That requires a full CMA-approved prospectus because it's for the public at large. But a private placement? That one just needs an offering memorandum simply because it's strictly restricted to institutional or qualified clients.
Now, what about an exempt offer? Well, this one bypasses the standard prospectus entirely. But, and this is a big but, only if you meet very specific investor number limits or financial thresholds set by the CMA.
Okay, watch out for this exam trap. Absolutely all advertisements regarding an offering must secure CMA approval before they are published. Seriously, zero exceptions here.
Moving right along to IPO mechanics and markets, let's rapidly break down the precise roles involved in going public.
Lock these three distinct roles into your memory. Your financial advisor is the one who advises the issuer and physically prepares the prospectus. Then you have the lead manager or underwriter who manages the distribution and actually guarantees the offering. And finally, the independent advisor. They're brought in by a target board specifically to evaluate bids completely impartially.
For the IPO timeline, you need to know this exact sequence. First, book building sets the price by generating demand bids. Next, allotment actually allocates those shares to the subscribers. And post-listing, underwriters will use price stabilization and the green shoe option, which is just overallotment, for up to 30 days to keep the market nice and steady.
All right, on to takeovers and M&A rules. Brace yourself because this is the heaviest hitting part of the exam.
30%. Burn this number into your brain. It is arguably the most critical threshold you need to memorize right now.
Why 30%? Because if any entity acquires 30% or more of the voting rights, boom, it triggers a mandatory offer that legally forces them to make a takeover bid for all of the remaining shares. You also really need to watch out for a concert party. This is where multiple people act together under a specific agreement to acquire control. The crucial exam point here, their shareholdings are aggregated together to calculate if they hit that 30% trigger.
Okay, here is the next massive number you absolutely must know for test day, 75%. This applies to a scheme of arrangement. Basically, to use this as an alternative to a direct takeover, it demands court sanction, CMA approval, and, crucially, 75% shareholder approval by value. Now, please don't get these two mixed up. A squeeze-out is when the bidder legally forces the minority shareholders to sell their shares. A sellout flips it. That's when the minority shareholder legally forces the bidder to buy their shares. Moving on to frustrating actions. A target board cannot just deploy an action designed to block a takeover bid on a whim. It is completely prohibited unless they get shareholder approval at a general meeting first. And never forget the equal treatment principle. It dictates that every single shareholder in the exact same class must be offered the exact same price and terms during a takeover bid. It's all about a level playing field.
We're in the home stretch now, so let's quickly contrast the markets. The main Tadawul market requires a minimum 30% free float. On the flip side, the lighter Nomu parallel market only needs a 20% free float, and trades there are completely restricted to qualified investors.
Finally, we have the lockup period. This is that strict restriction preventing founders and pre-IPO shareholders from cashing out and selling their shares right after listing. Typically, they are locked in for 12 months.
You've just blitzed through the most vital thresholds and definitions for the CISI SCMR CF exam. But memorizing the rules is just step one. Ask yourself, how would you actually deploy a 30% mandatory offer to execute a hostile takeover in the real world? Lock these concepts into your memory, go crush that exam, and get ready to actually use this stuff on the trading floor. Good luck!